Hello everyone, welcome to Courts Today by Live Law, your one-step destination for the latest and fastest legal updates. I am your host Urvashi Chauhan, bringing you day-to-day happenings, landmark judgments, crucial rulings and expert insights into the world of law. Let us start. Let us start with the headlines and a brief overview of the top stories. We will then dive into full details and in-depth coverage of each update. The Supreme Court today dismissed ex-RG Car Hospital principal Sandip Ghosh's plea against order of Calcutta High Court for CBI probe into irregularities at the hospital. The Supreme Court has directed Himachal Pradesh High Court Collegium to reconsider elevation of 2 district judges, saying that the High Court was wrong in taking individual decision. The top court has today stayed the bail condition imposed by Madras High Court on YouTuber Felix Jerald to close down his channel. The top court has ordered release of Ex-Bhushan Steel MD Neeraj Singal in a money laundering case, saying that ED violated the laws on arrest. The order of the Madras High Court setting aside discharge of Tamil Nadu ministers KKSSR Ramachandran and Thangam Thenarasu in disproportionate assets case has been stayed by the Supreme Court. Rashtriya Janata Dal has approached the Supreme Court against the High Court striking down law on 65% reservation, contending that Bihar has 85% OBC population. The Apex Court has today questioned if there was any prohibition on Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal performing his duties from jail. The Supreme Court has dismissed a petition today seeking provisions for virtual hearings and evening courts at the district level, saying that uniform directions cannot be passed in this regard. The top court has dismissed a plea from an advocate seeking better facilities at Mumbai cricket ground, saying that the cricketers can take care themselves. Terming it as political interest litigation, the Supreme Court has rejected a PIL for CBI probe against TV channels for alleged manipulation of exit polls. The Supreme Court has today dismissed the petition filed by ex-RG Car Medical College Hospital principal Sandip Ghosh, challenging the Calcutta High Court's order that had transferred to CBI investigation of the alleged financial irregularities by him. The investigation transferred is in relation to allegations by the former Deputy Superintendent at the college, Akhtar Ali, who had moved the High Court against Dr. Ghosh, alleging serious illegalities such as mismanagement of dead bodies, reselling bio-waste in the open market, misutilization of public funds, etc. Dr. Ghosh's counsel today explained that the objection was that the High Court's observation linking the alleged irregularities with the rape murder of the trainee doctor that took place on 9th August. Before the Apex Court, Ghosh has also contended that the investigation was transferred by the High Court without giving him an opportunity to be heard. But the bench comprising Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud, Justices J.B. Pardewala and Manoj Mishra orally observed that an accused does not have the locus standi to be heard in a plea seeking the transfer of investigation. It said that the High Court was handling the case and the top court would not interfere. When the counsel asked that CBI should only investigate so far as the irregularities are concerned without linking it to the murder-rape incident, the Solicitor General, Additional Solicitor General and the Chief Justice of India objected to the same, saying that an accused cannot have a say on how the investigation should be carried out. In the next update, the Apex Court bench of Justices Hrishikesh Roy and Prashant Kumar Mishra has allowed a writ petition filed by 2 senior district judges from the state of Himachal Pradesh, contending that the High Court Collegium ignored their merit and seniority while recommending names for elevation to the High Court. Let me tell you, District Judges Chirag Bhanu Singh and Arvind Malhotra had approached the Supreme Court asking for reconsideration of their names for evaluation to the High Court. Their names were initially recommended in December 2022, but in July 2023, the Supreme Court Collegium had decided to defer their elevation. In January this year, the Supreme Court Collegium directed the High Court Collegium to review their names again. The Union Law Minister also sent a letter supporting the reconsideration. Then in May, the Supreme Court issued a notice asking for a report from the Registrar General of the Himachal Pradesh High Court on whether the High Court Collegium had complied with this directive or not. After receiving the report in July, the court had reserved its judgment. Let me tell you, an argument was raised on behalf of the High Court that since the Supreme Court's resolution requested the Chief Justice to reconsider the names of the petitioners, the Chief Justice can take an individual decision. But the Supreme Court has now held that the Chief Justice of a High Court cannot individually reconsider a recommendation. The top court observed that procedure adopted by the Himachal Pradesh High Court Collegium in the matter of reconsideration of the two petitioners was inconsistent with the law laid down in the second judge's and the third judge's cases. It has directed the High Court Collegium to reconsider names of district judges. In the next update, the Supreme Court has temporarily stayed order of the Madras Court that required YouTuber Felix Jerald to shut down his channel Red Pics 24/7 as a condition for getting bail. This condition was imposed after Jerald was involved in a criminal case concerning alleged scandalous remarks made in an interview with Savakku Shankar uploaded on the channel. Jerald is facing charges under the IPC and Tamil Nadu Prohibition of Harassment of Women Act. A bench headed by the Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud questioned as to why Jerald allowed the publication of content that made serious allegations against the judiciary and women IPS officers. However, senior advocate Gopal Sankara Narayan representing Jerald argued that while the interview should not have been hosted, shutting down a YouTube channel with over 2 million subscribers was an extreme punishment. The Supreme Court, while providing interim relief today, has issued a notice to the state of Tamil Nadu for further proceedings. The Supreme Court today ordered release of former Managing Director of Bhushan Steel Limited, Neeraj Singal, in a money laundering case. The order was passed citing Singal's long incarceration of about 16 months and unlikelihood of completion of trial in a short span. The Enforcement Directorate has accused him of causing a public loss of over 46,000 crores. According to ED, Singal, along with other accused and business entities, illegally acquired loan funds under the name of Bhushan Steel Limited and other group companies. He is also alleged to have laundered money through a network of over 150 companies, all controlled by Singal and Bharat Bhushan. He was arrested by ED in June last year. Today, the bench of Justices Sanjeev Khanna and Sanjay Kumar was hearing his challenge to his arrest and dismissal of bail by the Delhi High Court. Senior advocates Kapil Sibbal and Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi appeared for him and argued that he has been in custody for about 16 months. It was further submitted that no grounds of arrest were given to him and thus the law laid down in the Pankaj Bansal case was violated. The court allowed him to be released on terms and conditions to be imposed by the trial court, and some conditions were imposed by the Supreme Court also. The top court has today stayed another order of the Madras High Court which set aside discharge of Tamil Nadu ministers KKSSR Ramachandran, Thangam, Thenarasu and their spouses in disproportionate assets case. The High Court, while setting aside the closure reports, had restored the cases to the special PMLA court and had directed that the trial should be conducted on a day-to-day basis for early completion. The petitioners here took objection to the procedure adopted by the High Court. They questioned as to how the High Court, while exercising criminal revision, could have held that the closure reports filed by the vigilance were not acceptable. This amounted to the High Court usurping the power of the trial judge. It was further contended that the Chief Justice, as master of roster, while assigning the suo motu criminal cases pertaining to MP MLAs, should have assigned the matter to a division bench. However, the matter was assigned to a single bench. This was contrary to the rules of the High Court. Advocate General of Tamil Nadu, P.S. Raman, submitted that the state itself was planning to file an SLP against the order as it interfered with the findings of the Directorate of Vigilance and Anti-Corruption. A bench comprising Justices Rishikesh Roy and Prashant Kumar Mishra passed the interim order today while issuing notice on their special leave petitions. With this, the top court has stayed the High Court's order. The Supreme Court today issued notice on a petition by Rashtriya Janata Dal challenging the striking down of Bihar amendment laws on reservation. If you recall, based on the data from the caste survey conducted in 2023, the state had passed 2 amendments increasing the reservation percentage for OBCs, ST, SCs from 50% to 65%. These were the Bihar Reservation for Scheduled Castes, Scheduled Tribes and Other Backward Classes Amendment Act 2023 and the Bihar In Admission in Educational Institutions Reservation Amendment Act 2023. But in June this year, the High Court bench of Chief Justice K. Vinod Chandran and Justice Harish Kumar in a PIL struck the amendments down. The reasons for the same were, first, it exceeded the 50% reservation cap. Second, it based reservations solely on the population proportion of backward classes. And third, lack of proper analysis or study by the state before increasing reservations. The Rashtriya Janata Dal has now moved the Supreme Court challenging the High Court's order. Senior Advocate P. Wilson, appearing for RJD, submitted that Bihar had 85% population as OBC. He referred to the decision of the top court in Janhit Abhiyan versus Union of India, which had held that 103rd constitutional amendment, which introduced 10% reservation for economically weaker sections in education and public employment, did not violate the basic structure for breaching the 50% ceiling limit. He said that the same reasoning applied to the present case also. The bench comprising CJI D.Y. Chandrachud, Justices J.B. Pardiwala and Manoj Mishra agreed to issue notice and tag it with pending challenge to the High Court's judgment. In another update, while hearing a plea related to delay in deciding remission of a convict, the Supreme Court has asked whether there was any restriction on Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal performing his official duties from jail. The Supreme Court had previously directed the Delhi government to take a decision on granting permanent remission to the petitioner in this case. The state informed the court that the process had stalled as the chief minister, who is currently detained, needs to review the file before it can be forwarded to the lieutenant governor. The bench of Justices Abhay S. Oak and Augustine George Massey noted that the matter concerned the petitioner's liberty and could affect many similar cases. It said that if there was an impediment to the chief minister handling official files while in custody, the court might have to exercise its powers under Article 142 of the Constitution to prevent such further delays. The additional Solicitor General Aishwarya Bhati stated that there was no precedent on this issue and sought time to take instructions on the matter. The case will now be taken up on 23rd September. Stay tuned. In another update, the top court has today dismissed a petition seeking provisions for virtual hearings and evening courts at district level. Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, along with Justices J.B. Pardiwala and Manoj Mishra, observed that uniform directions cannot be issued across all district courts due to the complexities of administration. The bench highlighted that virtual courts are being developed under Phase 3 of the e-courts project with a sanctioned budget of 7,000 crores from the government. The petitioner here, Kishan Chand Jain, argued that virtual hearings could be introduced in phases, especially as new criminal laws require digital recording of evidence. However, the CJI pointed out that while efforts are underway to bring technology to judiciary district level, challenges vary and evening courts were not practical given the workload on lawyers. The petition was dismissed as the court emphasized that these are policy matters being addressed under the ongoing judicial reforms. The top court has today dismissed a plea from an advocate seeking better facilities at Mumbai cricket grounds such as toilets and clean drinking water. The advocate's petition was an appeal against a Bombay High Court order that had refused to grant him relief. The Supreme Court agreed with the High Court, noting that players can address their own grievances. Justice Abhay S. Oak criticized the PIL as unnecessary, stating that cricketers should handle such issues themselves and questioned the petitioner's motives. And lastly, the Supreme Court has dismissed another public interest litigation today regarding media houses that broadcasted exit polls during the last phase of the general elections. The petitioner claimed that these polls misled investors, causing a dramatic rise and subsequent crash in the stock market, resulting in a loss of 31 lakh crores. They sought investigations by multiple agencies, arguing that the manipulation of exit polls violated election laws and hindered the principles of free and fair elections. But the bench led by Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud rejected the PIL, describing it as political interest litigation. The CJI remarked that election-related issues should be managed by the Election Commission of India and not by the court. He emphasized the need to move beyond election controversies and focus on governance. If you wish to know more details about the cases that I mentioned here, you can visit our website at www.livelaw.in. Stay ahead with quick legal updates only on Live Law. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe and support us. You can also support us by donating through the thanks button at the bottom of our videos or consider becoming a member at just 89 rupees per month.